last 14 years, I've helped over 500 people make $1 million a year or more in this profession. Proud of that. I've helped over 10,000 people make a six-figure income inside of network marketing. It's a pretty large number. And I've helped millions and millions of people have a nice part-time income, you know, enjoy their life, pay off their credit cards, have a little bit better lifestyle, and have a nice time in this profession, right? So I know what I'm talking about. I can help you, I promise, if you listen. But we're going to go fast, okay? So if you got notes, write them down quick as you can. We're going to go through this. There's 4 things that we do in network marketing. Get this clean as we start. 4 things. 4 basic things. You want to be involved in this business? 4 things that we do. Number 1, we sell. Nothing happens. Nobody gets paid until a sale happens to a customer. We sell valuable products and services using word-of-mouth advertising. Some people saying, well, is network marketing in trouble? Is network marketing going away? Network marketing is not going away at all. There's always going to be a need for word-of-mouth advertising on a product or service, and there's always going to be a need to educate the consumer on something that they do not know about. That's where we come in. We educate, and we use word-of-mouth validation in order to be able for the person to... How many of you know somebody that lost a bunch of weight? And what do? You know, anybody know somebody lost a bunch of weight? Thank you. I got a good fitness coach here. But if you know somebody, what do? You ask them, what did you do? What happened? And how many of you have tried what they told you? Virtually every one of you. Because that's a valuable thing, word-of-mouth advertising. So we sell. I'm just going to assume that you're reasonably good at selling, but what I'm going to teach today when it comes to recruiting can be applied to sales, okay? So if you can improve on selling, you can apply the same principle. Second thing that we do is we recruit an ever-expanding team of other people who are selling. And we begin to get some leverage. Instead of trading time for money, you know, if you can go out there and be a superstar, that's what happened to me when I first started. Like, okay, I got to go do this. I was so uncomfortable selling product, but I had a gift. You know what the gift was? The gift of desperation. I needed money like oxygen. And my number one desperation was get my money back that I invested in my company. Back then, it was $5,000 to join. I had to borrow the money in order to be able to join. I borrowed that money, and I got to get that money back because I don't have a lot of time. So I sold even though I was super uncomfortable. So anyway, second thing we do is we recruit an ever-expanding team. So we begin to touch on leverage. Trading time for money is one thing. You become 100% of your effort. Most small business people, they are the business. And if you want to test to find out how much of the business you actually are, pull yourself out of the business, do nothing, say nothing, go away, go to the North Pole for 6 months, and let's come back and see how your business is doing. But if you get 10 people on your team, assuming that everybody's doing the same amount, and you're one of those 10, now you're just 10%. 90% is being done by others. You get 100 people on your team, you can become 1%. If you get 1,000 people on your team, it's a fraction of that. Okay, this starts to get interesting. So recruiting's the second thing. The third thing that we do is we duplicate. We duplicate this process. Everybody has an opportunity to be able to grow a team. This is a big myth that only the people at the top make money. Not true. Not true. How many people know somebody who is in somebody's organization and makes more than the above? Anybody know somebody? It's a myth, though. It's a common myth, right? So third thing we do is duplicate. Fourth thing we do is we lead. We improve the productivity of the teams that we have based upon leadership. So if I have this half of the room here, it has a great leader. This half of the room has a absent leader. Which team is going to do better overall on average? The team with the great leader. So we can affect the quality of the teams that we have based upon our leadership. Okay, so There's a big difference between a job and a business. A job is trading time for money. A business is when you get leverage, scale. If you're going to be involved in this anyway, I want you, every one of you, to have leverage, scale, the ability for you to become a smaller and smaller percentage of the overall success of the organization. So, I want to describe for you now 3 levels of success, or 3 stages, I should say, 3 levels in a network marketing career. And they're distinct, okay? Level 1 is from launch, whenever you launched, until you hit 10 recruits. And I'm going to explain why 10 recruits is important in just a moment. I'm going to draw it out for you. 10 recruits, any of you ever deal with KPIs in your business? Key performance indicators, anybody? This is one of the most important KPIs, 10 personal recruits. Now, I'm not talking about customers that could build a business but have no intention of building a business. I'm talking about people who actually have the intention of building a business. 10 of those, okay? 0 to 10, that's level 1. Next level is from 10 recruits to $100,000 a year. I'm just going to use dollars for our international friends. 10 recruits to $100,000 a year. That's when you can kind of go from part-time to full-time. That's when you need to learn some skills. That's when you got to start figuring out duplication. There's a bunch of different skills you need to learn there. We'll talk about that. Level 3 is you're at 100,000, but you want to scale, either stabilize your business or scale to 7 figures and beyond. Now we're talking about leadership at scale. So 0 to 10 is level 1. If you have under 10 recruits right now, people with the intention of building a business, you're in level 1. If you have 10 recruits, but you're not at 6 figures yet, you're in level 2. If you're at 6 figures, but you're not at 7 figures, or you'd like to stabilize your business beyond that, then you're in level 3. All right? So do me a favor. Everybody at home, every single one of you, put into the chat, where are you right now? Level 1, 2, or 3. I want you to just watch. Watch. Those of you in the room, take a look. You see why we're here today. How many of you here in the room are in level 1? Raise your hands. Take a look, and you're here. How many of you are level 2? You got 10 recruits, not at 6 figures yet. How many of you are level 3? 6 figures, you're on your way to 7 figures and beyond. Okay? So an ocean of ones. So I want to give you some big data. Here, I got pen and paper. Big data and network marketing. This is going to blow your mind. But look, if a man wants his dreams to come true, he needs to first wake up. Okay? That's Emerson, by the way, not from me. You got to first wake up. You got to just say, hey, look at what's really happening and what can we do to affect what's really happening within our organizations. Small changes make a big difference. Small changes make a big difference. So, here's what big data tells us inside of network marketing. What big data tells us is this. Out of the last 1 million people that have joined, take any snapshot of people. There's 120-some million people involved in network marketing around the world. Over 120 million. Let's just say roughly. The profession does about $200 billion a year. It pays out over $200 million every day in commissions to someone. Every single day. But if you take the last 1,000, the last million, 70% of all people who could build a business, could recruit somebody, who were eligible to recruit, have recruited exactly 0. 70%. 20% have recruited between 1 and 2. Lifetime, not a month, not a year, ever. Most of them recruited those by accident. They didn't even really try. 5% have recruited between 3 and 5. 3% have recruited between 6 and 9. And 2% have recruited 10 or more. Now, 90% of people who get their real estate license never sell a single home. Most people who buy a book don't finish that book. This is kind of normal. If we were able to charge $100,000 to join our network marketing business, guess what? Those numbers would be different. You know why? They'd have 100,000 reasons to continue to go out there and build a business. But when it's $300, $200, what's the most, put in the chat, what's the most amount of money you can spend to join your company? What's the most? What's the biggest number you can do? It's not a very big number. In the United States, average is $55,000. Average in the United States, half of those fail in year 1. 97% gone in year 10. That's just the way it is. Entrepreneurship's hard. So when somebody joins for $200 and it gets hard for a minute, is it easy for them to say, you know what? I could do something else. I got other stuff I can do. I don't need this nonsense. Or they'll say, you know what? I'm just going to use the product. I'm just going to kick back here. I'll sell here and there. I'm just going to relax. Fine. But here's what I need you to know. As leaders, and my mission here today with you and everybody around the world, this 98%, all of these people are tourists. They're tourists. We're here in Las Vegas, where our studio is. We're tourists. Do we love our tourists? We love our tourists. Come on in, have your 3-foot-tall margarita, get your picture taken with the showgirl. Go to the shows, go to the clubs, go gamble a little bit. We appreciate it. We don't have any state taxes here. It's awesome. Thank you for all of you that came to Las Vegas and dumped your money into the Strip. We're grateful. We hope you come back. Come on back. But we know you're not going to live here. At some point, you're going to go home. There's nothing wrong with the tourists. There's nothing wrong with people coming in here and there, using the product, sharing the product, because guess where the 2% come from? They initially started here, and they worked their way into this 2%. Right? So this 2%, remember I said KPI? It's very, very important. This 2% averages 27 recruits each. They recruit 70% of all participants in network marketing. This group. They are the engine that drive it all. So the great thing about network marketing is we give everybody a chance. The price of entry is extremely low. The risk is extremely low. You have to make up for what you lack in investment dollars with hard work, equity, sweat equity, learning, being uncomfortable, getting embarrassed, doing something out of the ordinary in order to be able to grow something. You got to grow it from the ground up. Okay? So my mission today is to change this number. I'm not really worried about changing this number that much. That number is going to be what it's going to be based upon our price of entry. But I can change this number. Because let me tell you something about this 2% that you need to understand. Ten recruits, right? If you as a team are under 2%, if you take the last 100 people that have joined your team, some of you have big teams, if you have less than 2% recruiting 10 or more, you're in decline. And there's always going to be lots of other things to blame it on. Oh, you don't understand. We changed the product. We changed the comp plan. We have a new CEO. This country didn't work. That thing didn't work. We have a competitor that's given us a bunch of hassle. Here's the truth. The truth is none of that. If you have under 2%, it's only 2 out of 100 people who join to get them to 10. If you have 2%, exactly 2%, you are stable, but you're not growing. It's just kind of the same thing over and over and over and over. If you have 3%, you have solid growth. I'd say typically 20 to 30% year over year. Just 3. Turn your 2 into a 3. And you can change your whole business 20 to 30% in growth. 4%, momentum. Go back and look when you were in momentum within your organization, and I will promise you, you are at 4% or higher. So here's my mission. My mission is take everybody who's willing and help you change the 2% to a 4%. All of you that are in this room, I want to get you out of level 1. All of you around the world, I want to get you out of level 1. Out of it. All right? Quickly. Faster we can do it. I've learned success loves speed. Faster we can do it, the faster your organization is going to grow. And the story that you're going to tell about how you get your 10 is how you're going to be able to inspire the next group of people that come in. Now, it's not that hard to turn a 2 to a 4. Take 100 people if you have a plan. If you have a training, if you have a plan, if you have a system, you got a process, you got a story. We can turn the 2 to a 4. All we got to do is ask the 100 who's in. Who would like to get into this group? And here's why it's so important. Come join me. Let's do it together. Let me help you. Okay? So, I mean, if you can get 5%, man, hold on. It's just rocket ship time. That still means 95% of people are going to be doing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, hanging around, and our job is to get them to hang around long enough that the penny finally drops and they say, you know what, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to do this for real. I'm going to learn these skills. So that's why this is so important. The tourists are here. The business builders are down here. Okay? Everything's a sorting mechanism. We're going to use this to help people try and grow. Now, small changes make a huge difference. I want to ask a question for you. The question is this. How valuable would it be if you could recruit 10 new business builders in the next 30 to 60 days? Tell me what would happen. Put it into the chat. What would happen? And call it out here. What would happen? Tell me. Growth, momentum, what else? Expansion. Inspiration. You'd inspire your team. You'd be proud of yourself. Some more money. Would you rank advance? Yes. Would your confidence go up? Would you be more likely to take more action? Would your belief be more rock solid? Would you have momentum going into the holidays? Would you have a better 2024? Even with all of these things, how many of you are still kind of don't believe that it can happen? Be honest. It's like this feels, it all sounds great. That's why I joined in the first place. But then I went out there, I got punched in the face. And I realized it wasn't quite as easy as I hoped it was going to be. Right? So, I want you to just dream for a second. Just dream for a second. When it comes to getting 10 recruits, because if you'll listen to me today, you'll take these notes, you'll put them into action. I want to invite you to kind of go to the next level when it comes to stepping into. Guess what the 10 recruits is? You just put your foot on the starting line. It's not some huge accomplishment. It's like your initiation. It's your orientation. Welcome to a new profession. The 10 is putting your feet on the starting line, and then we can start to run. Most of the times, the 10 is just a decision. I'm going to give you a decision with skills, okay? I want to introduce you to a friend of mine real quick who's going to just share a very quick story. This woman has recruited over 9,000 people personally. Her name is Stormy Wellington. Check it out. Hey, Stormy.
Hey y'all, this is me, Stormy Wellington. Many people from all over the world call me Coach Stormy, and I got 3 minutes to give you one of my #1 recruitment strategies. But before I do so, I want to tell you that I've been with my company for almost a decade. Yes, the same company for almost 10 years. And inside of my company, I have been able to recruit close to 10,000 people. I am the #1 recruiter and the #1 income earner. Here's what I want to tell you all that is my #1 strategy. The first thing that I like to do, contrary to what many other people say, is I love my warm market. You know, people that know, like, and trust you. You know, people tend to shy away from their warm market and they want to go straight to social media and try to recruit the people on Instagram and TikTok, right? But what about your warm market? What about your friends? What about your family member? What about the people whose number is stored in your cell phone? So one of my #1 strategies before I get to getting outside is I get into my cell phone. I get into my cell phone and I call everyone from A to Z. And #1, I create a sense of urgency. You know, I zone in and I say, hey, listen, may I speak to Alex? Hey, Alex, is this a good time to talk? Let me ask you a question, Alex. You know, do you keep your options open when it comes to making money? That's one of my questions that work. You know, another thing I like to ask is, hey, if I had a way that you can make $500 to $1,000 a week, you know, I like to get straight to the money. And so being the #1 recruiter and network marketing also comes with perks because you have been able to break the ice of having that fear of rejection. And one of the ways that I was able to break that fear of rejection is that I just go. I don't let fear get in the way. You listen, what you lack in skills, you make up in numbers. Another strategy I would give you is, you know, the 3-foot rule. Anyone that you can literally touch like this, those are the people you should reach out to. So when you're at the nail shop, the beauty salon, you know, getting your hair done, you know, shopping, buying clothes, taking your kids to school, don't be afraid to talk to people. You know, a lot of us are afraid of rejection, but people are everywhere. And so when you start talking to people, one of the things that you should do is break the ice by giving that person a compliment. Oh my God, I love your hair. Oh my God, I love your bag. And make a friend today. You'll be surprised how many people are not accustomed to being complimented. And by you saying, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. Oh my God, I love those shoes. Oh my God, what color lip gloss are you wearing? That is a great way to start a conversation. And so I got a couple of more seconds, and here's what I'll tell you. Today, go through your cell phone and decide to contact everyone that name begins with the letter A. Break the ice, break out of your fear, and decide to call everybody whose name begins with the letter A and just ask them this. Is this a good time to talk? Let me ask you a question. If I had a way that you can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a week, would you want to know about it? Hey, do you keep your options open when it comes to making money? Those are my 2 questions that I like to ask. So listen, my time is up. My name is Coach Stormy, the #1 recruiter inside of my company and the #1 income earner inside of my company. And I love to recruit. I love to talk to people every day. And remember this, as you keep going, you're going to keep growing. And you're going to start to grow into the person that can attract people. All right? So thank you so much, Eric, Uorre, for having me. I hope I dropped some good gems. Start with the letter A today. All right? Let's go.
Thanks, Stormy. All right. So, sounds easy, right? Just start with people with the letter A. I'm going to tell you what to tell them. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get you through a process. Because if I was so bound up with fear when I first started that I did what they told me, but then I got punched in the face emotionally. And I was scared to do it the next time, and I got punched in the face again. And you get punched in the face enough times, you're like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe there's something wrong with this whole thing. So let's talk about the psychological aspect of what we're trying to accomplish when we're recruiting, okay? Your goal, when you're out there talking to people about your business is education and understanding. That's your goal. To get people to understand what you have, to the point that they become educated on it. They can make a choice for themselves. I had this crazy thing that happened to me is when I first joined network marketing, I had this assumption that everybody I knew would at least be willing to take a look. Nope. I have this thing, I'm not interested. What do you mean you're not interested? I'm not interested. I haven't even told you what it is yet. Yep, but I'm not interested. I'm like, okay. Education and understanding. That's all we're here to do. Think of yourself as a consultant trying to solve a problem for a client. And you need to identify that client. You need to educate them on a potential solution. It may or may not work for them. That's fine. Not everybody's going to be a prospect today or be ready today. It's okay. Emotionally release yourself from the outcome. Your only goal is education and understanding. That helped me. I don't know if it helps you, but it helped me to just say, just breathe, Eric. You're trying to help this person understand what you have. That's all. They're not rejecting me. They're rejecting that thing. That's not a solution for them. Fantastic. Wonderful. So that helped me a lot. And I got to tell you, there's a big lie that's going on in the world. Big lie. And it's being told by billionaires and thought leaders and Shark Tank people and iconic entrepreneurs. And you know what the lie is? Only do what you love. Only do what you love. Because if you only do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. It is not real. That is not a real thing. And it's become this popular thing that says, oh, I'm not having fun right now, so I guess I should stop doing it. Only do what you love. Are you kidding me? Does an Olympic athlete, while they're training for the Olympics, only do what they love? No. Does a prima ballerina only do what she loves? No. You moms out there raising your children, did you only do what you loved? No. You love them, so you'll do it. I love this, but I got to give you a confession. Here's my confession. I hated recruiting. I hated it so much. If I knew I had to add a new line to my organization or whatever in order for me to grow, it was, if I was not desperate, I wouldn't have done it. I was so introverted, so scared, so insecure, so afraid of being judged, so afraid of being embarrassed that I was just like, I know I have to, but I don't want to. And my mentor explained why I needed to, explained I needed to get leverage, explained I couldn't sell, my way to success. I needed to build a network. Explained, I get it. But I hate it so much. My battery would drain so fast. I'd literally have to listen to music to pump myself up to make the next call or make the next. It was so hard for me. How many of you it's been hard for you? Just this idea of it. I need to go recruit. So hard. So for a while, I avoided everything. I tried to avoid doing it. Maybe I could just sell enough. People will magically join my team. That didn't work. How many are magically joining your team because they became a customer? Not really happening. You get the occasional one. It gives you hope, but you're not really building a team. And they also told me this. They said, if you do it enough, you'll learn to love it. Nope. I did not learn to love it. Never. I became world class. I became one of the best recruiters in the world. I became highly skilled, but I'm still an introverted person. Here's how I viewed recruiting in my mind, okay, just to get it clear. A person is drowning. They don't know that they're drowning. And I can save them. So I swim out to them and I try to let them know. If they stay in the water much longer, they've already gone down twice. They're going to go down a third time. And I try to help them. And they fight me. And they punch me in the face. And they call me names. And they say, leave me alone. I'm like, no. This is not the plan. There's a beach right here. You don't have to get smashed by the waves 8,000 times. And some, sadly, I had to swim back to shore. Otherwise, they were going to drown me. Right? That's how I viewed it, honestly. So if you're not comfortable, if it's not something you love, it's okay. It's okay for you to do it anyway, because I love this. I love working with like-minded people. I love finding people who have the same goals and dreams as I do. I love seeing the world together. I love the friendship. I love watching somebody create a career. I love watching somebody who didn't believe in themselves start to believe in themselves. I love all that. So I'm willing to do the painful thing until I get the team built. And my little hack is because you ever met those people that are natural recruiters? Those annoying people that are just like, yeah. They recruit literally every day. Oh yeah, I recruited 5 people on the way from the airport to the hotel. I recruited 3 people while I was in the hotel. You know, I got to get back because I recruit 3 more people at dinner. I'm like, shut up! I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? You met these people. I'm not that guy. I literally, emotionally had to say, you know what? I'm going to put my recruiting clothes on, and all I'm going to do is recruit, and I'm going to recruit as fast as I can, as many as I can, so I can get to the other side and go work with those people, which I love. Yes. That's how, so I do it in bunches. That was my coping mechanism. Now, there's some people that are great at, consistently, they recruit 2 to 4 to 8 a month or whatever forever. That wasn't me. I'd recruit 10 or 20, then I'd go to work with them, do what I love, and I'd say, oh, I got to do it again. Those people are kicked out of the nest. They're out there flying on their own. Do it again. Go. And then I'd get that group. That was my coping mechanism, okay? You can borrow that if you'd like. Sometimes it's better to just put those clothes on and don't allow any distractions and just recruit. Bring in, get those of you who are not out of level 1, you need to just put those recruiting clothes on and get your 10. Just get it done. Do not look right, do not look left, do not watch Netflix, do not scroll on social, do not do anything until you get your 10 done. It's got to be literally a decision, okay? So, now, you don't have to love it, but you have to do it if you want scale. And how many of you want scale and leverage in a real business? Okay. So here's one of the key concepts that you need to understand if you're going to have success without a lot of ability. Because here was one of my limiting beliefs. I'm not making that much money. So how can I go tell somebody that they can go make a bunch of money when I'm not making money? I've been with my company for 3 years, and I've rebuilt my team 4 times. How can I go tell them with any confidence that they should come in and be part of this as well? That's a hard thing to do. I feel inauthentic. I feel like a phony. I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm lying. You can be free. They say, well, how free are you? I'm not very free. So you have to find a way to recruit that's not about you. This is a critical concept. If you want to become a recruiting machine, you need to understand this concept. Here's you. Here's your prospect. And if you go to your prospect and you give them the facts, you give them the information, the only people who are going to join you are people who respect you, look up to you, and were wishing for you to call them, say, please, could I work for you somehow? Those are the only people you're going to get. If somebody's at a peer level with you, it's why nurses end up recruiting a bunch of other nurses. teachers end up recruiting a bunch of other teachers? You know? Because they're going to their little peer group and they're saying, hey, I've got all this information, but you're set up for disaster. If you're giving the facts yourself, you're set up for failure. So when I started, I was 23 years old. If I'm talking to a 50-year-old successful person and I have 18 jobs prior to talking with that, connecting with them, and they know I'm 23 with 18 jobs, and they know that they're successful at 50, what chance do I have? No shot. It doesn't matter how good, because they're just like, Eric, let's play 20 questions. Let's start with the first 18, your 18 jobs that you had prior to this. What in the world, kid? Why am I on your list? This doesn't even make sense to me. Right? So how can I educate that person so they understand what the opportunity is? I need to make it not about me. If it's about me, I'm dead. Ladies talking to a man. Do men have egos, yes or no? Yes. Will they dismiss you as a person with a business idea, yes or no? Yes. So how, ladies, can you recruit men into your organization if you make it all about you? It's going to be very difficult. People of different skin color, people of different age, people of different belief systems. Can a Democrat recruit a Republican? Is that possible in this world? So, you need to make it not about you. This has to not be about you. Get that in your head. You are a connector, not an expert. Write that down. You are a connector, not an expert. You're going to be connecting people to an expert source that is not you. A connector, not an expert. In order to do that, you need what we call a third party. You need to introduce, you go to your prospect, and then you introduce. There's somebody in room 2 that's very, very loud. They're saying, please mute that person in room 2 if you guys are watching back there. Introduce your prospect to a third party. You're a connector. You're going to introduce your prospect to a third party. So let me give you some examples of what it could be. Do you have a slide for this, John? Or can you type it as perfect? I love you. So let me give you some ideas of what a third party could be. Your product. Introduce them to your product. Here's your product. And if people ask questions about the product, well, let me show you all the backup about the product, instead of you trying to be an expert about the product. Your company website, you can point them to your company website where they can learn more. That's not about you. A distributor website, you might have a distributor website. All the information's on there. They ask you a question, you can guide them there. Your upline. Some of you have a good upline, some of you don't. If you don't, it's probably a better thing, but that's another training. Or someone else. If you make friends inside of your company that have been involved longer than you have, make sure you connect with as many people as you can, so when somebody you're talking to has a question, you can guide them to someone else. Oh, that's a good question. Let's go get the answer. Instead of you trying to be an expert. Like 3-way chats, 3-way phone calls, 3-way text messages. Somebody asks a question, hold on. I'm going to connect this other person that I'm sure has the answer because I'm not an expert. This is not about me. Let me connect you to this other person. You connect to the other person and says, hey, my friend here, my prospect here, but you'd say, my friend has this question and I didn't really have the answer and I thought you probably would. Could you help us with this? And that person gives the information. You don't get to give any of the facts. You understand? And it's hard. It's really hard, especially if you've been involved in network marketing for a while. It's especially hard. If anybody asks you for directions, excuse me, do you know where the quick trip is down the street? Oh yeah, it's, go down 4 things and, 2 blocks over and you'll see it, on your left. If somebody asks you a question, you have to reserve and not answer and guide them to a third-party resource. This is vitally important. If you want to have recruiting results, third party needs to be your toolbox, not your words. The worst tool you can use are your own words. The worst tool possible. There could be articles about your company. There could be articles about your product. There could be printed material and brochures that you can show people, right? There could be videos. A lot of people using videos. Let me show you this video to explain it better than I can. There's audios. There's podcasts. There's links that you can connect people to. There's Zoom recordings that you can connect people to. This will explain it better than I can. I know right now, this event, there are people who are not involved in network marketing watching this event to be able to figure out what would I do if I joined. This is the smartest thing. Talk about third party. You don't have to say nothing. You just took them behind the curtain and showed them what they would do if they were part of this, right? So in-person events. Why don't we get together? I'll introduce you to some people. You can get the answers to your questions, right? 2-on-1. Go sit down for coffee. Yourself, somebody who's in your business, and they could either be physically there or set up on FaceTime or something and sit down with you and have coffee at Starbucks and have the conversation and have that other person give the facts. Small group or in-house presentations, another way. Let somebody else give the information. You don't have to give the information. Local events, some of you have local events. People are getting together, whether it's training, information, whatever. Bigger company events, great tool to be able to use. So, your story or other people's story? Your story or other people's story is that's the only time you get to use your own words to help your prospect understand. Your story's okay, because that's still kind of third party. You're telling a story. But giving facts is prohibited if you want to have success. If you want to have duplication, if you want to really grow this, you need to not be the fact giver. You need to be the fact connector. Okay? You're going to connect that prospect. Your goal is what? Education and understanding. If it's just from you, they can't see it from you. Right? So, don't get in the way. Don't get in the way. Anytime. What's your name? Devin. So Devin, let's say I'm standing, see that chat thing over there? Let's say that's the business opportunity, okay? And I say, hey, Devin, I've got this really cool thing. It's amazing. And it's right here. Can you see it?
No, sir.
Why can you not see it? Because I'm in the way. Do you understand? So I need to get out of the way and say, it's here. And then she says, and she asks me a question. I have to resist the urge to do this. I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Because now I'm in the way again, and now she can start judging me. Say, well, how much money are you making again, and how's this working for you? And I'm like, whoa. Sorry, it's over there. Ignore the man over here introducing you. It's all over there. And will that help? As a man trying to recruit a woman, guys, most of you don't understand this. You're 1 or 2 words away from disaster. You got to be careful, because you won't even know you offended them. They'll still be smiling, and they're inside they're saying, this asshole, I can't wait till he gets out of here, because there's no way I'm joining this. Not happening. True? Person of color. My black friend, I'm talking to him. I'm in the way. What is he seeing? What are you seeing when I'm saying, let me tell you about this business and how excited I'm going to be. And here's all the information. Here's how much money people are making. Products changing lives. It's unbelievable. What do you see? You see a white guy. You see a white guy standing in the way. But if I get out of the way and you can see people, black people involved, having success, doing things, you're like, maybe it's not just a white guy thing. Maybe I should take a look. See what I'm saying? If you're 70 talking to somebody 22 years old and you're standing in front of them, they're 22 years old and you're saying, you could do this business, son. What is a 22-year-old thinking? That ain't for me. You got to get out of the way, introduce them to some 22-year-olds. See what I'm saying? Third party is your best friend. This takes some discipline for you to be able to really focus on this. I'm going to teach you how, the whole arc of how you're going to recruit, be able to recruit on demand. But you got to get solid on third party. One of your assignments today is make a list of every possible third party you have in your company. Everyone, including every friend, every resource, every article, every Zoom recording, every video, every audio, your product sampling, everything you can think of. Make it a total list. So when you're in front of somebody, you don't have to try and think about it out of your head. You can go look at your list and say, well, let me introduce you to this. Let me give you the rule if you want to be successful at recruiting. And this was great for me. When I was 23, 18 jobs, I learned this the hard way. I tried to recruit successful people. There was no shot. Here's the rule. If your lips are moving, you need to be pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. Pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. Pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. I'll get out of the way, sorry. See, I gotta get out of the way so you can take a picture. You need to be pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. It's not about you. Anytime, and listen, you could try and feed your ego by trying to be superstar. How many of you were wildly successful, even if that sounds egotistical, prior to being involved in network marketing? Please raise your hands. What did you do, sir? You flew jets. What kind of jets? Citation. I have G5. G550. So that's the best. Isn't that the best thing? Yeah. So anyway, as a pilot, he flew jets. As a pilot, you could probably go to people who looked up to you in your career, and you probably got some success, right, early. And you leveraged your influence. Hey, I've been successful. Come on along, right? But here's what happens. Let's say you were a 10 when it came to credibility and influence. Who were you recruiting? 6s, 7s, and 8s. And they were doing what you were doing. And what were they recruiting? 3s and 4s. And what were those people recruiting? 1s and 2s. And pretty soon, people couldn't even afford the product, right? You had this organization that kind of devolved over time, because even if you're highly influential, you're making tons of money, you have to kind of hold that and not make that the big deal for personal recruiting, because it's a trickle-down bad effect. If you use third party, even if you're successful, you have a better chance of being able to recruit everyone. People at higher levels than you, lower levels than you. We're going to talk about that. All right. Boy, I got to speed up. We got a lot to cover. So, I was going to teach you how to tell your story. I'm not going to do that because we don't have time. But I'll give you 4 parts in telling your story. I just want you to write these down. This is how I would recommend you tell your story. Normally, we would practice this and we would go over a little bit more. But write this down, 4 parts. Your background. What's your background? He was a pilot. What'd you do? Work for Caterpillar. What'd you do? Personal trainer. What'd you do? Radiologist? Radiology tech. What'd you do? Corporate America. What'd you do? Health and nutrition. What'd you do? Musician. Whatever it is. Everybody's got one, right? Y'all got one. So what was your background? Second, what did you not like about it in particular? What was not so fun? So, what did you not like about it? Give me something. Back-breaking work. Training.
The industry of healthcare itself.
The industry. That's a long list. Hours of one-on-one. Trading time for money as a trainer. Work your butt off in corporate without being appreciated, probably. People have to want to change. Dealing with other musicians. There's a whole bunch of stuff where you're probably underpaid, underappreciated. There's politics involved. You had to watch your back. All kinds of, you can come up with a quick little list of what wasn't so great. Even if you loved what you did, there's probably something. Okay? Part 3 is that you found a solution. I found a solution to all the things that I didn't like to be able to create a better life. And part number 4, how you feel about the future. It doesn't even have to be about your results. It's about how you feel. How do you feel now after you found this thing? So every one of you can use that story to introduce somebody to a third party. That will humanize you and connect you with your prospect. And then you can make an introduction to a third party. You understand? Now, I'd practice this 2 or 3 times and you go, oh, I really get it. I'm just going to encourage you to go home and practice this yourself. Do it with each other. If you're a couple, do it with your friends, back and forth, and you're going to realize real fast that 4-part story will crush, absolutely crush, when it comes to building rapport and connection with your prospect. Okay. Next thing I want to talk to you about is hot market. How many of you would love it if your close friends and family would at least support you? Raise your hands, please. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, my gosh, we make these assumptions that my family would at least support me, and your close friends and family are probably the group that knocks more people out of network marketing than any other group. They drop this seed of doubt in your head. They laugh at you. They roll their eyes at you. They call you crazy. They do all this stuff because they don't understand. It's fine. So I'm going to give you I think there's cold market, people you don't know yet that just meet randomly. There's warm market, people that you know. And then there's hot market, people who know you maybe too well. They know all your challenges and issues, okay? So I'm going to give you an approach with hot market. How many of you have already felt like you've burned out your warm market? Put some flame emojis in the chat. Raise your hands if you feel like you burned out your warm market. Not all of you. All right, that's good. But there's quite a few flames thrown up. Most of them are just waiting because they had to find the flame emoji. So, I'm going to give you one approach that if you've not gone to a person in your hot market, that will work for them. And I'm going to give you another one if you've already gone to them and maybe been shut down by them. This is very important. Some of you can get your 10 done in your hot market without even trying. Okay? So, let's start with people that you haven't talked to in your hot market. Connect with them. Hey, you have a second? And here's how it works today. I don't have my phone here. You text somebody, you have a second, you don't call. Unless friends and family, close friends and family will pick up most of the time, but still, you have a second is courtesy today. Text them, you have a second. They'll usually say, yeah, or what time, or whatever, fine. And then you get them on the phone. Say, listen, I just wanted to call and thank you. for being my friend. Thank you for being my brother, my sister, my family member, whatever. You know, we have our times, we have our moments, but I know when the chips are down, you've got my back. And I just want you to know I appreciate you for being there for me. That matters. And I'm grateful for it. Part 2. Compliment. 1. Thank them for their support in the compliment. Still part 1. Part 2. Tell them that you started a business and quickly disqualify them from being a part of the business in the same sentence if possible. This is important. Listen, I just started this business. Yeah, I work with this company and they work with nutritional products and I'm super, super excited about it. And you're not a prospect. I'm not calling to recruit you. Matter of fact, I don't think this is a fit for you at all. This is just for me. Okay? So they'll just go, their defenses go down because you're not trying to recruit them. And you're sincerely not. And then you're going to go one of two ways. If you open up a restaurant, would you expect your close friends and family to come to the grand opening? Yeah. If they thought the meal was crappy and they hated the food, would you expect them to come back? But you'd expect them to come once, right? If they thought it was as good as something across the street, would they likely come back to yours instead of somebody else's? Yeah. If it was great, would they keep coming back and would they tell their friends? Yeah. So, I started this business. I'm really excited about it. But I'm also a little bit nervous and I'm just getting going. And it would mean the world to me if you would support my business and be my customer one time. Not forever, just once. Yeah, I have this product, it's $80 or $50 or whatever. I have this thing. It would mean the world to me if you would support my business. I'm trying to get a certain number of customers in my first month. I want to get some feedback from people that I trust as far as how this product or service is working for them. Would you be my customer one time? It's not forever. It's just one time. Now, if you came to me with that approach, I'm in. You know, if you start trying to pitch me on a business right away and you're my brother, like, whoa, slow down. You were painting houses a week ago. What's going on? Right? So, but if you said, would you support my business, just be my customer one time, I'd be super grateful. It'd mean the world to me. I need you to be the customer one time, and I need you to give me the feedback on the product. That's really what I'm looking for the most. Here's a 30-day supply. Here's a 60-day supply. It's a 90-day supply. It's $100, whatever it is. You know how many sets of Cutco knives I've bought over the years from my nieces and nephews? Do you think I need all those sets of Cutco knives? I don't. They're a great product. But when niece or nephew comes in, I'm going to reward the pitch. Somebody knocks on the door and says, well, I'm raising money for jerseys for our soccer team, and we have this spray bottle that'll take care of any mess on your windows. I'm like, kid, keep the spray bottle. Here's $20 just for the knock. Keep it for yourself. Good for you. You know, I want to support, but I don't want to sign up forever. I don't know if I'm going to even like it. So, how many of your close friends and family would likely say yes to that? Good percentage. Make it nice, make it fun, make it easy. They become a customer. So guess what most of marketing is? Almost all of marketing. Getting somebody to try something. That's all it is. When you see a Super Bowl commercial, do you know what that commercial is about? Getting somebody to try that product. If they like it, they'll continue. If they don't, they won't. That's all we're trying to do here too. Get them to try your product. Support your business one time, try the product. Okay, now you've got a customer. Here's a different approach to that same person that you haven't talked to yet. It's a practice approach. The first approach, just kind of put that under support. Would you support me? Be my customer one time. You are not a business prospect. This is my business. I'm building it. The practice approach. If I go to Ace, my friend, my brother, my cousin, my whatever, I call Ace and say, Ace, listen, I just appreciate the fact that we've been friends so long and you've always supported me. You always got a smile. You always give me a hug and you're always wishing the best for me. And I'm grateful for it. It means everything. And I've started a new business. And don't worry, I'm not trying to recruit you. Not trying to recruit you. It's not about that. I just want you to know I'm nervous. Okay? And I need somebody I can practice on. I got this little pitch. I haven't done it to very many people. I need a friendly face. Can I practice my little pitch on you? Absolutely. I can? All right, fantastic. And all I'm going to do, it won't take much of your time. It's going to be really easy. They just want me to kind of go through this little process, and I'm kind of clumsy about it, and I'd love to have a friendly face. So if I use a practice approach with Ace, if you did that with a family member, how many of them would say, sure, come on. Just, you got to make them know it's going to be easy. It's not going to be a 3-hour thing on a Saturday afternoon. It's going to be 15 minutes. Can I practice on you, please? I got my little pitch and I'm nervous. All right, sure. I'll make it easy. I'll come to you, whatever. Or we'll jump on Zoom and we can do it. Make it easy. And at the end of that practice approach, as you've gone through it, here's the thing about a practice approach. How many of you consider yourself an entrepreneurial thinker? Raise your hands. Entrepreneurs cannot help when they see something that is a financial or business opportunity, they cannot help but connect the dots, no matter how clumsy the person is in front of them. They cannot help it. If they go to a concert, they're counting chairs and how much did people pay per chair and how much did they sell at concessions and how much popcorn went out of this joint, and you know what I mean? Entrepreneurs can't help it. So your clumsy little practice approach, but they're going, I can think of this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. As long as you don't make it about you, they're going to get curious, I promise. And at the end of your practice approach, then you can throw the support approach afterwards, which would say, listen, would you support me? Be my customer one time. I won't be offended if you say no. But it would mean the world to me. I really need the testimonial. I really need somebody to try this for me. I really need somebody to give me some feedback. And also ask them for feedback. You know, again, I told you I'm nervous. How did I do? What could I do better? Where would you have me improve this presentation? See what I mean? Now, if you add your story to this little process with Hot Market, you tell them your story, and then you ask them for support, or you ask them for practice and then end up at support, how many family members are going to get behind you, even if they don't join you? How many are going to understand why you're doing what you're doing? How many are going to at least appreciate the product and encourage you? And you know what the last thing you need to say to every one of these Hot Market? Whether you ask them for support or practice, here's the last thing you need to say. I need one more favor. Will you push me to be the best entrepreneur I can be? If you see me slacking off, if you see me getting distracted, will you call me up or send me a text and say, hey, get off your ass? You told me you wanted to be successful. I thought you were serious. Would you kind of be my friend / mentor and push me? I'd really appreciate it. Now imagine that happens with every brand new person in your organization from today forward. What are the results going to be moving forward? How many customers are you going to end up with? How skilled do you have to be for this to happen? Not very skilled. You're going to end up with a bunch of customers. And some are going to join even if you say, no, I said it wasn't for you. They're still going to say, yeah, shut up. I'm still joining. You're not keeping me out of this thing. You will sign some people up. But my ultimate goal is I want your close friends and family to be a wind at your back, not a wind in your face. if they're a wind in at your back, it's going to, and you get a little bit of results, you get some customers, you make a few bucks, earn a check. It's going to make you happy, all right? So does that help? That helpful? All right, now we're going to pivot now into finding prospects. How many people have at least 2 pages of notes so far? All right, good. Like I told you, we're going fast. We're going fast, but I want to give you as much information as I could possibly give you. How do you find prospects? I thought that this was like a natural resource. Either you knew a lot of people and you were influential, or you didn't know anybody and you had no chance. I live in a small town. Well, sucks for you. I guess you can't win. Serious. At 23, how impressive do you think my list was after 18 jobs? And what happened with me is I started crossing off people. I made a list of 100 people. I started crossing them off, and I'm approaching those people with the worst possible approaches and the highest level of anxiety. And I'm talking to my best people. That is not a good recipe for success. You add up anxiety, incompetence, and good people. Some people say, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Yes, you can. You can chase really good people away from our profession by saying all kinds of crazy nonsense. Amateur talk. Salesperson breath. You know what I mean? Fire hose. Here's all this stuff. Join, you have to.
Shut up, just shut up, shut up, shut up, just shut up, shut up.
So